Today, we're diving into the story of one of Major League Soccer's original teams, Sporting Kansas City. And let me tell you, it's a journey that's got it all. Some seriously wild name changes, dramatic worst-to-first comebacks, and of course, championship glory. So this is the crest that fans know and love today. It's sleek, it's modern, it's professional, but you would never guess that behind this polished brand is one of the most unusual and, frankly, kind of weird origin stories in all of American sports. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? This one question perfectly captures the team's early identity crisis and really sets the stage for their incredible rise to the top. To get the answer, we have to hop in a time machine and go all the way back to the very beginning of Major League Soccer. The year is 1995. A new league is taking shape, and Kansas City is right there as one of its charter members. The team was founded by the legendary Lamar Hunt. A true giant in American sports. This is the guy who also founded the Kansas City Chiefs and was a key figure in creating the Super Bowl. He named his new soccer franchise the Kansas City Wiz, and they played their very first game in 1996. But yeah, about that Wiz name, it didn't last long. At all. In fact, after just one single season, they were forced to change it for a very, very strange reason. You can't make this stuff up. This really shows you just how much of a Wild West a young MLS was. An electronics store called The Wiz actually took legal action, forcing the team to become the Kansas City Wizards. A truly bizarre footnote in sports history. So, after the naming drama, things were a bit rough in the late 90s. In 1999, the Wizards finished dead last, rock bottom. But what happened next was one of the greatest turnarounds the league has ever seen. The foundation of their unbelievable 2000 season was a rock-solid defense. And it all started with this number, 681. That is how many consecutive minutes their goalkeeper, Tony Meola, went without allowing a single goal. That's an MLS record that still stands to this day. Just incredible. They didn't just win in 2000, they completely swept the league. They had the best record, winning the Supporters' Shield. Their keeper, Tony Meola, wasn't just goalkeeper of the year, he was the league MVP, which is so rare for a goalie. Peter Vermes locked down Defender of the Year. This dominance propelled them all the way to the MLS Cup final. And the final was just a classic matchup. It was perfect. You had the Wizards with the league's best defense going up against the Chicago Fire, who had the league's best offense. It was the irresistible force versus the immovable object. And guess what? The defense held. A single goal from Miklos Molnar in the 11th minute was all they needed. They won the game 1-0, with Tony Meola making 10 saves and, of course, being named MLS Cup MVP. The Wizards were champions. But as any champion will tell you, staying on top is way harder than getting there. The years that followed their first title were filled with playoff heartbreak and a whole lot of near misses. You could just feel the frustration. They had early playoff exits, a soul-crushing overtime loss in the 2003 conference final, and then the biggest heartbreak of all, losing the 2004 MLS Cup final after actually taking an early lead. It just felt like they were always one step away from glory. By 2010, it was pretty clear to everybody that something big needed to change. The club decided it was time to reinvent itself from the ground up, sparking a revolution that would change its identity forever. And the change was absolutely dramatic. The club ditched the Wizards name and left behind that old-school MLS feel of playing in a huge, cavernous NFL stadium. They became Sporting Kansas City and moved into their own state-of-the-art, soccer-specific stadium. This wasn't just a name change, it was a total shift in philosophy. So why does this matter so much? Because Sporting KC's rebrand basically became the blueprint for the rest of the league. It showed other clubs the incredible value of having your own stadium, a modern brand, and a deep connection to your city. It really signaled a move toward a more ambitious, more professional era for MLS as a whole. And that new ambition, it paid off almost immediately. The Sporting era kicked off a brand new golden age for the club, cementing its place as one of the league's most successful franchises. The trophy cabinet really tells the story, doesn't it? While they won that first MLS Cup back in 2000, the Sporting era brought a whole new level of consistency. And just look at that string of US Open Cup victories, 3 championships in just 6 years. That is a clear sign of sustained excellence.
Their 2013 MLS Cup win even earned them some serious national recognition, with a trip to the White House to be honored by President Barack Obama. That's a moment that really solidifies your status as a premier club in American soccer.
So, from an electronic store lawsuit all the way to a complete rebrand, this club has constantly evolved. It's a story of survival, of ambition, and of success. Which leaves us with one final question. What does the future hold for a team that has already reinvented itself so many times?